You are listening to BL in the Air. My name is Shai,
And I'm Alex.
and today we are talking about the one, the only ABO Desire.
I'm so
Our
excited.
very, I know, our very first on-screen MPREGs. So,
Oh
of course,
God.
we have to talk about it. Um, and before we get into that, Alex, what's in the air with you today? What have you been watching, or what have you been up to?
I started the Japanese version of The Boy Next World.
Oh, okay. How is it?
So I'm pretty sure I probably talked about this while the Thai version with Boss and Noel was airing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate the Thai version until the very end because there's this big
Okay.
plot thing that happens that just enrages me.
Okay.
And it's actually similar to something that happens in ABO Desire. It's really funny now that I think about it.
Oh no.
Um,
Okay.
there's no impreg. No impreg.
Okay. I was
Um,
like, do I just fundamentally misunderstand the plot of
no,
Boy Next World?
no, no. But there's something. It's the dumbest thing in my opinion.
Okay.
Um, and so I am like a hater of the Thai version. So I'm kind of hate watching this one.
Uh-huh.
I will say so far it's not been bad. Again, it's a speed run, right? Because I've seen like 4 episodes. I think episodes 5 and 6 are out because they've been releasing 2 at a time. Um, so they're speed running a plot, which is fine, honestly, on this one. Just go ahead and rip the band-aid off to get to the part I hate.
Mm,
So that's where I'm like, if they fix that, because there was like what happens there's no need for. They could have just kept without it and it would have been fine. Um,
okay. Well, are
um
like how are like the chemistry and stuff like?
so it's the same pairing that did Love in the Air.
Oh, is it the Boss Knoll pairing?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I
So it's
don't remember their names. I'm
Shoma,
sorry, but oh yeah,
yes.
Shoma.
Shoma and Takuto?
Okay.
Sorry. But I love Shoma anyway cuz Shoma was in another BL that we watched as like a
Mm-hmm.
side character. Um but yeah, I don't I don't hate it yet, which is a first for the Japanese versions of the meme shows. Um, I know it's coming, and so I'm inherently gonna hate it just from that. But outside of that, I'd say it's probably the best of the adaptations so far.
Okay. Because
So
yeah, someone in our Discord was saying that they actually think because the run times are a lot shorter. They said they think that'll actually be better for Boy Next World because
hmm
there isn't much plot.
there's not.
So yeah,
There's really not.
so I
There's
could see how like 20-minute episodes would be like in its favor.
yeah, yeah. I definitely think it's working for this one better than it has for the others.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but
Well,
yeah.
that's good to hear. How many episodes are you into it?
So I'm only in 4, and I want to say 6 are out.
Okay.
It's only 10 episodes, so we're getting there.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
hopefully they skip the part you hate, but they probably
yeah.
won't.
They probably won't because it's a core part of the plot, but there was an
Uh,
easy way of finishing the plot without that being the core part of the plot. So
okay.
it's hard to explain, but
Yeah.
without giving it away. I don't want to give away the big plot twist. But but yeah, it's still
Hmm.
when it happened, I remember just like pausing and just sitting there and going, are you kidding me right now? That's
There's nothing worse than
hi-
like a bad plot twist.
yeah. I'll say hindsight, like watching it now I can see where they hinted at like that happening.
Hmm.
And it's one of those I'm like, oh yeah, that happened in like the Thai version too. So like they definitely hinted at it coming. I
Hmm.
just didn't catch it.
Okay.
Which is probably because there were just so many like Bosnol NC scenes that were kind of insane.
Mm.
Um
Yeah, that is still. I do want to watch the show mostly just for that
yeah.
because I've heard from everyone else that it's like not that good. Like the other aspects of it, like the plot
Yeah.
and story and stuff. But
Yeah. There's not much plot, but there's a lot of NC scenes and they are something.
yeah, and I really enjoy what Boss Knoll and their chemistry. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it'll be worth it for that probably, but I'm not expecting a lot out of like the story.
Did you see in the Discord server where I dropped that we're getting a new Boss Noel show in May?
Yes, I did.
I'm
In
excited.
May though, like,
Yeah.
and they haven't filmed anything.
Right?
Like, what
Right?
is this turnaround?
I wonder if they're still going to be filming it while it's airing.
That's
'Cause,
crazy.
'cause I saw, I think My Romance Scammer was actually, they wrapped after the first, like, 2 episodes aired.
I
So,
don't
it's not
understand
unheard of.
how Thai shows do this though, because I've done like productions before, and you film all the scenes at like by location, not by episode date. So it's like I feel like that would be so difficult. Where if it's like you can't have any more scenes in the living room because like we wrapped there. You know,
Yeah.
I'll never understand how they do that, but
I don't
yeah.
either.
But okay.
I think we do that in the US too sometimes, though. I think there's some sitcoms but they also have, like, 2 sets, and they have them, like, allocated.
Yeah, I feel like sitcoms just like maybe that's one reason they just don't exist anymore.
I miss sitcoms. It was, like, the only television that I, like,
Yeah.
got addicted to.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. What's in the air with you?
Okay, so I mentioned a while ago that I started a fantasy series from the 90s, and it's called the Night Runner series. And I finished the first book a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "Oh, it was pretty good." Like it's like high fantasy, so it is really dense in terms of like you just get like a fuck ton of names and countries and whatever. You're like, I don't know what's happening. And like it was cute. Like not a lot happened, but I really enjoyed the characters and I was like, okay, I like this enough to continue. I read the second book. It fucking destroyed me. It was so good.
Oh.
It's called Stalking Darkness, the second one. And these are all by Lynn Flell-Welling, by the way. But the second book I thought was fantastic. I was glued to it, like absolutely just like I couldn't think or do anything else. Yeah, and the reason why it's my what's in the air, it is gay. So
That's kind of surprising for a book. You said from the 90s, right?
Yeah. Yep, it was the second one at least was written in 97. So yes, it probably I think started in like 95, but yeah, I think I highly recommend this if you are really into like high fantasy and you want characters who are gay, but that's not like the main plot line of the story, because like the two main characters, like it is like a part of the plot where like they develop feelings for each other, whatever, but like most of it's about like wizards and like impending prophecies, and they just kind of run around and they like lie and burglarize houses for like most of the books. But
That's funny.
But yeah, highly recommend the series. I think it's fantastic so far. I started the third book. It's a lot about politics so far, but I think there's like 6 or something in the series.
Oh, wow.
So I'm definitely gonna
Nice.
read all of them because yeah, I adore the characters. They're one of the characters is kind of gives me Wei Wuxian vibes, like in the sense that he's very cunning and aloof and beautiful, and he's also like an exile from his home country, and he just like kind of gives me similar vibes, and I'm like, oh, love that. So yeah, highly recommend. Yeah, I've been eating those up.
I like the idea of high fantasy, but I've found I struggle with reading it because it's too descriptive most of the time. So once I get to like a paragraph that's describing like nature for like a chapter, and I'm just like, I can't do it. I end up dropping every book.
Yeah, this one it mostly took a while to figure out like the different countries And then they talk about like, you know, all these nobility and like people from these different countries and the tribes,
Oh,
and it's like that took a while to
I
figure
need
out.
charts.
But yeah, and I'm like, I'm reading it on like my e-reader, and like there is a
Mm.
map in the front of the book, but it's too blurry to read because like whoever
Oh.
scanned it just did a really bad job. So I was like, I keep thinking like, oh man, I should just Google the map because would be
Mm-hmm.
useful because I can't use the one that is in my book. But but yeah, I'm with you with I can't do fantasy through audiobook. I have to read it. Otherwise, audiobook I retain nothing, but I can if I read it, it's very enjoyable.
Yeah, I'll have to give it a shot. It's been a while since
Yeah.
I've tried a high fantasy, so.
Mhm. Yeah, I definitely say like the first one is kind of like it takes a bit to get through and like not a ton happens other than like, you know, setting the scene for the characters and their jobs and like
Mm-hmm.
the dynamics and stuff. But the second book like really blew me away. So, um, just based off of that one, I feel pretty good about recommending it to people.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we get into? I guess some may say Omegaverse is fantasy.
Yeah.
So yeah, today we are talking about ABO Desire, which is a Chinese drama that aired in 2025. It aired from summer, like July to October,
Mm.
and it's about Omegaverse and pharma drama. Don't you
That's such
always
a
wish
bad
you had one of
description, but
those?
yeah, that's all you need to know. There's
Yeah.
Omegaverse. I've had to learn so much about Omegaverse properly now. Um,
Mhm.
because we had Pit Bay, which was like wading into like the kiddie pool, and
Mhm.
this was like diving into like the deep end.
Yes, I like that
You know,
description.
yeah, I'll say it's fun. I don't
Mhm.
hate Omegaverse. I don't know how I feel about that, but you know.
Yeah. No, I think it's fun. I enjoy the odd Omegaverse here and there. I think it's super cool that it's come into like TV adaptations. And I think
Hmm.
it's even cooler that this is a Chinese BL
Right?
show, which, if you aren't aware, China has like censorship laws for gay shows. You aren't allowed to make gay television there. But I think the people who made the show were just so rich that they didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And
It
and
was
so this show just somehow got made. It's like kind of crazy.
it was I think two sisters the funded this, and they literally just have fuck you money in China. Um which is incredible. And
Yeah.
so a little backstory on the cast. So first the cast is we have four main characters. We have Huayang, who's played by Huang Jing. I'm gonna butcher these names. Um then we have Sheng Xiaoyu. I should have put their English names. I don't know why I didn't. Because like one of
Oh.
them, his name is Elliot.
Oh.
I
I
think
don't
I
know
think it's
anything about these actors, so yeah.
okay. I don't even want to pronounce some of these names because I'm gonna butcher them. Chu Ding Ji? And then Gao To is Li Pai En and Shen Wenlong is Jiang Heng.
Okay.
I apologize to anyone who had to listen to that. I feel like I got the character names okay because I've heard them enough now. Um
Mhm. Yeah.
but so the four actors are also kind of in like a C-pop group together now, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. I was like, because I just finished the show, so I'm not caught up to date. And I
Hmm.
remember hearing about like, oh yeah, the actors are now in a C-pop group, and I was like, what?
Yeah. So they're sort of paired together the same way Tai is, but not really, kind of. Because I think they're both pairs are set to do shows together, like in their pairs again.
Uh
So
huh.
it's not as like hard set, I think, as like the Tai pairs, but it's like the fact that we're getting another pair is already like a big deal.
Yeah.
Um, but also the one if you if you go and watch any of their performances that they did like right after this when they were doing all the promotions, after the show aired, the actor that plays Hua Young is the only one who has any real like trainee idol like experience. And it's super
Okay.
obvious. Like the other three aren't terrible, but it's like new trainee kind of have some experience and like somebody who's been like years of training like at the
Uh,
same time. So it's a little more obvious. Um but it's
they
really
like make
cute.
them dance and stuff too.
Oh no, they do like full like C-pop,
Oh.
like dance and choreo and sing and yeah. And
Okay,
it's
how
just
interesting. What's their group name? Is it? Please tell me
uh
it's a Megaverse related.
it's Desire 4, I think is what it was.
Oh, okay, that's
So,
fine too.
yeah, it's named after the show. But
I was gonna say
well,
there in a K-pop there's already Omega X and now there's an Alpha Drive one.
yeah,
I don't think there's any betas. They would
not
have had.
yet.
They could have been Enigma something.
Mhm. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
I love the cast already. They're fun.
Mm.
I haven't,
Yeah,
I
I'll
haven't
have to
actually
like
seen anything in a while. Mhm.
get into learning about who they are because I did really enjoy the cast. That was like my favorite part of the show.
Yeah. I made a note in the notes somewhere, but at one point, um, Xiaoyo gets a text with a list of names,
Hmm.
and it's the actors' real names. This is the list he gets.
Oh, that's fun.
But it's like they're more English sounding names, I guess, because it's one of them is Elliot, the other one his name is Ocean, and I forget the other two's names, but it was really funny seeing that because it was like,
Is
wait
one
a
of them
second,
named Ocean?
yes, Ocean.
Okay, which one?
I don't remember.
Okay. That's a fun name.
Yeah, it got really confusing to me for a while because in the K-pop group Ace, one of the members his
Mm. Oh
like
yeah,
username is Ocean
Ocean
something.
Park. Yeah.
Yeah, and so because of that, I was seeing a lot of like his content at the same time that I was like following like deeply in this, and I was like, which ocean are we talking about?
Yeah, yeah. That's what I would think too.
Okay, so episode 1, we start off with somebody is stalking Shang Xiaoyo's choice in Omegas, and he seems to have a very specific type and some very strong commitment issues, and how we like
Yes.
see it is like there's a bunch of people like kneeling on the ground in front of somebody we don't really see sitting in a chair who's like judging them, and they're like talking about like Xiaoyo's like um choice in Omegas. Doesn't seem to matter what like gender the person is,
Hmm.
so there's that. um
Yeah, I do think in this universe, what's interesting is that like I don't think like your male female gender
doesn't matter
doesn't
anymore.
seem it doesn't matter at all. They do
Yeah.
refer to like a mixed gender relationship and it was in
Mhm.
reference to like two alphas. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, it's interesting that like I think they said like a like gender minority relationship
Hmm.
and I'm like, "Oh, okay, so we still have homophobia, but it's not for like uh male male relationships. It's for like alpha alpha relationships."
So yeah, so we have this, and it is interesting that they do that. I think it's a unique take on it that we can never escape the phobias basically, because there's also like a lot of like classism.
Mm, my god. Yeah, when your two main characters, three main characters are like rich as fuck. Oh my god, they're just awful people.
But it's not even just that. It's you have like your S tier alpha and you have like
Oh,
a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like a Z tier alpha. Apparently they mentioned that at some point, but they don't really talk about like anything outside the S tier. But you have that, and then you have like omegas who are apparently this more like pathetic, sympathetic, whatever thing, and then you have
Mhm.
betas are just kind of like around.
Yeah, they're just dudes.
So because it's interesting like with the betas, because the betas don't have any of like this alpha omega nonsense going on, and so it's like, are
Mhm.
they just living like our version of a normal life?
Yeah, I think so. I really
So
do. And we don't have any yeah, none of our characters are betas. I feel like
no.
well,
Um,
obviously there are less betas in Omegaverse because they're like not the ones that are involved with the kink stuff.
yeah.
But justice for betas. If I was okay, actually, no, we'll get there. I just want to claim myself later,
Oh,
but
okay.
that'll be coming up soon.
Okay. Okay. So this mystery person that is like captured basically all of Xiaoyo's omegas. He has really strong like pheromones, which I've written the word pheromones so many times in these notes.
Oh my god, the
It
way that
doesn't feel real
these
anymore.
guys were pheromoning all over the show, like it was a
um
lot.
I will say I do like how they have the pheromones though. Because it's like
Mhm.
this like misty thing, but also there's like a light symbol, whatever, on like their hands. So the light symbol they can't see on each other. I feel like the actual pheromone thing is more for us. So like
Mhm.
I don't think they just magically sparkle now.
No. Yeah, it's for us to see what's like
Yeah.
smelled.
And like they're color specific to different people too. So I do like that. Um so but mystery person, his pheromones are so strong that he has like this suppressant patch that like doesn't really work on him. It's supposed to hold
Mhm.
for like a while. It works for like an hour. Um but there's a lot of medication in the works for everything ABO.
Yeah.
Or at least alpha omega. There's a lot of medication out there and a lot in the works. So they have a lot of suppressants for alphas, for omegas. Um, they have all kinds of like the show is very pharma heavy.
It is.
So there's he's got the patch on, but they also mentioned that like there's an injection that's supposed to work as like a suppressant that it's in trials and it should last much longer than the patch does. Um, So, and we go from this scene straight into like a recap of how like the Omegaverse happened because it basically spread like COVID.
Yeah.
So I literally went, it's COVID, but now we have MPREG.
Yes. Wow, what a side effect.
Right? Like insanity.
Yeah.
Um, but it really was like overnight, all of a sudden everybody just turned into alpha, beta, omega, whatever, like blood type kind of changed and
Yeah. All the ABs died off.
yeah.
This is where I would just like to say I would be a beta because I have blood type B. So
I
justice for betas.
I forget that that's what ABO like it goes with the blood type.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I either would be dead or an omega actually. I don't know my blood
Okay.
type. I'm either AB or O something. I'd never remember.
Those are
So
very different. Those are like the opposite.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm either dead or an omega. Yay.
Yay.
I don't I don't know that I'd want to be an alpha. That feels very dramatic. I also don't
You
really
would
want to
want to
be
be
an
an
omega.
omega.
No.
That's
I
like
don't
we already like lived that life. Like
yeah, that's just being a woman. Um
yeah.
Also, I don't want pregnancy, so anything that keeps me out
Yeah.
of pregnancy, like maybe I'll be an alpha just to have the fun powers because fucking hell. Um
That's true.
Screw I want to be an enigma because his powers are
Yeah.
fucking insane.
Ah,
Um
I want to get Elphas pregnant. Oh, we have very different wants for that. I mean,
I mean fair, right?
also the superpowers would be nice.
Yeah, I just
Although you
he's got
can't
so
use
many.
uh like anesthesia, which is I'm like that's crazy.
I think part of that was the medication he was taking though, right? Wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I thought that was a part
I
of his like drug resistance.
No, because they asked him about what the medication causing side effects with it
Oh,
and it
okay.
not working because of the suppressants he was taking.
Oh,
They would, I
gotcha.
guess,
Okay.
suppress the anesthesia. Yeah, so maybe he can take anesthesia. So,
Mm.
he also didn't seem to really fucking care about this, what was happening to him. I mean,
No.
but that's jumping way ahead. So, but yeah, so we have COVID Omegaverse. And this is, they specifically state here that gender is now based off of ABO. And that we have tiers of alphas. So, they're stronger and less strong. So, and also maybe there's enigmas. Um, spoiler, there is. Um, but
Blood
the
type
media is
E.
like,
They should have
yeah,
been the ABs.
yeah. I'm curious what blood type they actually are that would lead to that. Um,
Yeah.
so, but yeah, but as far as like the medical world is like maybe there's enigmas we don't really know, but if they do
Mhm.
exist, they can mark alphas. So that's a
Mhm.
big important thing. Um, then we meet Xiaoyo, who this other person was stalking already, right? And Xiaoyo owns a biotech company, and he's an S tier alpha. Um, and he is so attractive to me.
Oh, you think?
Yes.
Okay, you know who was so attractive to me?
Who?
Uh, Shen Wenlong.
Yeah, both of
Oh
them.
my,
It's
he's so pretty.
when Long has
Uh,
like the scar like right here, like right by his eye, that I was
mm,
like, somehow that makes him more attractive.
yeah. I mean, they're all attractive, but
No,
that
for
was the
sure.
one. Every time he was on screen, I was like,
Yeah,
gorgeous.
it's both of them. I was like, okay, I get the alpha appeal here.
Yeah.
Um, and then we find out about this company called HS Group, and it's run by Shen Wenlong that we keep talking about.
Hmm.
And they just released a perfume that smells like Xiaoyo's pheromones. Not that Xiaoyo worked with them, it's just they released it, and like Xiaoyo's friends were like, "Hey, this smells like you."
Yeah.
Um, and this company is also very heavy in the biopharmaceuticals. So this is where this is big pharma versus big pharma. Um,
Yeah. They're like the Bic or the Hitachi of in this universe, but it's just like we're gonna make every product, I guess.
yeah. So HS Group is also working with this other company called X Holding, and they're working to cure this pheromone gland cancer that's going on. And Shoyo's like trying to play nice with HS Group, because his dad has that cancer and he wants the cure. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because his company not doing so great at the research part of that right now. You can't
No.
just throw money at research. You got to actually have results.
Mm-hmm.
As a scientist, I feel that deeply. Um,
Yeah.
and Wenlong has a new secretary. His name is Hua Yong. Um, I love him dearly. He is my favorite character because he's fucking insane. Um,
He is insane. I kind of had similar problems with him as I did with Sky's character from High School Frenemy, whereas I don't like guys who are just like whiny and stalky and like pushy. Like that's just like
fair.
a huge like annoyance to me. And so I liked him for being a psychopath. I did not like it when he was just being whiny and annoying.
I
So
thought it
I
was
was like
cute.
I hate it so much. I would like I just like not a fan of that. Which is like funny because that's like the reaction we both had to High School Frenemy, whereas you loved it and I hated it
Yeah,
because of
so that
that.
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, so
I
I thought
just
that was funny too. But yeah, I do. I always respect a character who's like literally a psycho.
right. I also love that people tell him to his face that he's a lunatic, and he's just kind of like whatever.
Yeah, doesn't
Like
care.
he doesn't. Um, so Xiaoyo and Wenlong are talking, and they're talking a lot of medical nonsense. Doesn't matter. Um, Xiaoyo's like, I want to buy like a majority ownership of your company, and Wenlong's like, go fuck yourself. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they hate each other, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
They could have had a good enemies to lovers thing going on.
yeah, that alpha alpha minority thing, just not doing it.
Mm.
Also, for like most of the show, Wenlong is very ace. Like he would
Yeah.
honestly, even by the end, I would still call him an ace character, in my opinion. Because he's like, I don't really give a fuck
Mm.
about anybody. I'm just here to do business and make money. I just
Yeah,
want to live in peace.
his big thing is that he hates omegas. And
Yeah.
then Xiaoyo's big thing is that he hates illegitimate children. And it's very interesting, like characteristics they really
Yeah.
drill into this first episode. But
Yeah. Xiaoyu also doesn't like to sleep with like Omegas that have also slept with other people, so that's a thing. Um,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, so after Xiaoyu gets shot down for just trying to throw money at his problem again, um, he's like, "Well, what if we have a partnership instead?" And Wenlong's again like, "Go fuck yourself. I don't need your money," because he has a shit ton of money, and he also has X Holdings backing him, who has the most fuck you money out of anybody because they like run the next country over because there's these are like fake countries. I forget the
Mhm.
name of the country they're in. It begins with a J,
Uh-huh.
and the other one is just country P.
Yeah. For so long I thought they were just like, cuz in some of this show they like speak in code, and I thought country P
Mm,
was just like a code for another
yeah,
country. But no, they
it's
just the
just
country's name is P.
country
Country
P.
P.
Yeah. So, but they're in whatever the J country is. But like X Holdings is technically in country P, so they just collaborate. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, and then we meet Gato. His sister has been hospitalized for years. He is supposedly a beta. Um, and so he's there. He works for Wenlong. He's another part of the
Mhm.
secretary team for Wenlong. Um, and so we meet him, and then we meet Hua Yong, and he's an Omega. He's apparently the only Omega
Supposedly.
that Wenlong can tolerate being around because he hates the smell of Omegas. And don't you fucking forget it. Um,
Don't forget it.
um, Gaoto always smells like whatever Omega, and Wenlong will literally bitch about it at any given moment. Like he'll walk into Gaoto's house and be like, "This place reeks of Omega. How dare you?" And it's just like, "This is his own fucking
It's his
house, dude."
house. I
He's also
know.
like, I also love the first time he goes. He's like, "This is a shithole. Are we not paying you enough?" It's like,
Yeah,
what the
I know.
fuck?
He he's probably my favorite character, even though he's kind of sexist. Um, he's maybe my favorite character.
I do love him. He's so unfiltered because he's like the first one who just will call like Hua Young just a lunatic.
Yeah, they have an interesting relationship.
They do because he's just like, I'm so tired of this guy's shit, but I need his money.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Hua Young, he's an Omega that Wenlong can tolerate for some reason, sort of. Um, and Gaoto like drops him off at home because it's late after work. And after he drops Hua Young off, he's like sick, and so then he buys some pain meds and some suppressants. And surprise, he's not actually beta. He's an Omega pretending to be a beta. Um,
Oh my god.
yeah, and
Maybe this
he's
has something to do with his friend slash boss who hates omegas.
right. Um, but also that's why he always smells like fucking Omega because he is one. Um,
Yeah.
but he is
He
on some
doesn't have a
serious drugs
partner.
for it. No, he's constantly on like suppressants and stuff, which actually is like taking like a massive toll on his health. So he's got
Mm-hmm.
like a disorder and stuff like that. So he's like in heat constantly. So, and he's in heat now, which is why he had to go buy some drugs and he's sick and he like makes it into his apartment and then like collapses on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so bad for him. He's just so pathetic, to be
I
honest.
He is. I wish he could stand up for himself, but
Right?
he he never does. I keep waiting for
No.
him to.
No.
I do feel bad for him though, because like out of the like four, he's the one who like is poor and like
Yeah.
needs this job, and so like his motives are the most understandable out of
Mm-hmm.
all of them, because it's like real world issues and not just like I'm obsessed with this guy.
Yeah.
But so I do feel bad for him, but yeah, he just like cannot help himself, like no matter what.
Mm-hmm. I just and he's always in like the wrong spot when like uh um uh Xiaoyu and Wenlong are like fighting. He's
Mhm.
always there and like suffering.
Yeah. I know. And he just like looks so like helpless in the corner.
Yeah, because they always like have a standoff of pheromones, and like everyone around them is like affected by the pheromones, and so like Gaoto, who's like already struggling with health issues, like collapses on the floor like every single time.
Yeah, like every episode.
Yeah, he's constantly sick. That's his whole like character arc, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
um, so yeah, so he calls in sick the next day after he's collapsed on the floor, and he's like, "I have to take care of my Omega who's in heat," which a Beta Omega relationship is also apparently very weird. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Wenlong gives him a lot of shit for that. He's like, "What are you fucking doing with an Omega, dude?" Which is also
Yeah,
his like sexism towards Omegas, but you know.
yeah, and also a bit of because he likes Gaotuo,
Hmm.
and so he's just more like jealous.
Yeah. So I love that he's honestly kind of oblivious to his own feelings. So he's just kind of an
Hmm.
asshole, and it's like everyone else can read the room but him.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we get a flashback of Gaoto as like a kid with his mom, where his mom's like telling him that he needs to hide that he's an Omega and pretend to be a Beta with asthma instead. So he's always got an inhaler of suppressant in it, and he like changes the label from whatever the suppressant is to like albuterol, which is what people with asthma use. Um, and what I'm currently on because I've been sick for the last week. Um,
It's just your
so
heat suppressant. Duh.
oh god.
That's what you have
See,
to.
I am
That's
an
what you're gonna
Omega.
think of every time every
It
time you
is.
take it now.
God. There's gonna be quotes of me going, "I'm an Omega." God help me.
Yeah.
This is why my parents don't know of the podcast.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then we find out kind of at the end of the episode that overuse of suppressants has like damaged Gauto's scent glands, which is also why he constantly smells and he has a hard time covering it up because he's totally just fucked himself because he's literally been
Hmm.
pretending to not be an Omega since he was a small child.
Yeah, like the more he uses the suppressants, the more he needs them, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, episode 2, uh, Gauto shows up to drop. So he's still sick, but of course his boss is like, "You need to come drop off these documents at Hua Young's place," and he's like, "Ah, okay, damn it, I'll go." And so he drops him off, but Shen is there, and Shen of course makes a comment like, "Oh my god, you stink, like disgusting Omega scent, you whore." He doesn't say that, but basically, um,
Mm-hmm.
and Hua Young is there. He's just using like Wenlong's phone to stalk Xiaoyo's social media. Like they're obviously like very close, which I was
Mm-hmm.
confused about at this point in the show because I was like, I thought he was like they're both secretaries, but clearly the relationship between the secretary and
Yeah.
the boss is like not the same.
Yeah,
So,
because Wenlong is literally like unpacking Hua like boxes for him in the house
hmm,
that he's moved into.
yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, and I think that's also why I like these three in like this casual setting because it's just like I don't know. I really like Hua Young and Wenlong's relationship. It
Hmm.
tickles me.
It's fun because they humor each other more than anything just because
Yeah.
they need each other.
Yeah, they are their worst selves around each other and they both
Hmm.
are like they don't care.
Yep.
And Xiaoyo's company is not getting anywhere with their testing for cancer still, so he's getting a little more desperate about that. And he gets a tip that X Holdings CEO might be at the lounge tonight. And like no one knows what the CEO looks like except for the fact that he lives in Country P and he's very business savvy and that's it. And he might be at the lounge, which they go to a lot and it looks really not like a good place to hang out, but
No. It's like every skeezy, like almost like a karaoke bar, like with the private
mm-hmm.
rooms, kind of the vibe it gives.
Yeah, it gives like escort bar vibes,
Yeah.
but
'Cause
like
they always have like
fancy.
different Omegas in there, and there are hosts because somebody does get accused of being one. Um,
Yeah. I have to also say that Xiaoyo is like so sauceless this whole show. Like he is always dressed he I don't I don't know why, but this bothered me, but he was always just in like a suit and tie. And it's like that's fine, but then like when Lung's running around in like these like really cute like velvet green suit things, and like he looks so good, and then Xiaoyou just looks like he's playing like dress up. like like he's
Okay,
pretending to
but
be a businessman.
I like his brown suit.
Okay. That's
I
fair.
I, I like the brown suit. It's my favorite.
Okay.
Because when
That's
he takes
fair.
the jacket off, he's got like the arm cuffs or whatever.
Yeah, I
Um,
do like that. It
yeah,
is funny because he doesn't wear like a t-shirt even at home. He's like
yeah.
in full suit. It like cracks me up.
I
But
don't know if you noticed, they didn't spend a lot of money on the costuming because there's one character that's in the same shirt the entire time you see him.
yeah, I did
Um,
notice, but that's
and
okay.
Xiaoyou has like max 3 suits. Um,
Yeah. Yeah,
'Cause he's
I
got the
think
brown
they
suit, and I think he has like 2 black suits.
yeah. Yeah. He's just so his whole character is very sauceless. That's how I would describe Xiaoyou.
I just find
He's
him
just
very like stoic and like rigid, but
he's like white bread. That's it. He's like Wonder Bread white bread to me.
okay, but I still love him.
I like him too. I do think he's a very like pathetic character, but I think that has merit.
Hmm.
But more on that later. Okay. So, Hwayoung's also there. He works as a server, and he's being harassed by another guest. And Xiaoyou kind of like is walking by this like while it's happening, and so Hwayoung like asks him for help because he needs like an out in this situation, and like Xiaoyou at first like when he's walking by he like doesn't care, but then after he gets asked for help, he uses his pheromones to like take down the other guests because he's an S-class alpha, and so he can use his pheromones like a weapon.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy what the pheromones do. And then they have like different types of pheromones too, because they have like the dominance pheromone and they have like soothing pheromone.
Yes.
And,
And the main weapon
and
one is like a suppressant pheromone or something, and it just like suffocates people.
yeah, and then there's a seduction pheromone,
Mm-hmm. A
and you
little
can
bit of
target it at
everything.
people or just like disperse it everywhere.
Yes. It, these would I do have some cat pheromones right now plugged into my wallet. They're calming pheromones because I was trying to help my cat calm down with the move. I don't know if they actually had any help, but my room is allegedly filled with calming cat pheromones right now. So, and
Some
you know what? I
Omegaverse stuff
am
going on in your room.
I'm really like testing the waters. um okay, so he helps Hwayoung out there, and then Hwayoung later on he drops off Xiaoyou's cufflink from like the first time they bumped into each other at the hospital, so he like returns that, and Xiaoyou trashes the note but then decides to keep it later on. So,
The first signs of cracks.
the first
Interest.
signs. And Xiaoyou's dad isn't doing well, so he goes to the hospital, and his brother Xiaoqing is there. And he's in an 88 Rising shirt. I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, because it's the 88 with the arrow up. It's just a basic black
Um,
shirt with like he's got like a pink like jacket over it, like a suit jacket,
mhm.
and that is the only outfit he wears the entire show.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just always in an 88 Rising shirt.
I thought at first he was the doctor, but he's not. He's just
No.
arguing with the doctor.
Yeah. Hmm.
And the brothers argue, and they are on bad terms because they are half siblings, but there's
Hmm.
also more half siblings, and this is
Yeah.
where Xiaoyou's dislike for illegitimate children comes from, because he's the legitimate heir, and all these other little bitches are trying to steal his wealth. So he's like,
Yeah,
"Fuck you
because
guys."
his dad and mom were the ones that like built this company up, and that's why he's like the sole heir to the company, and everyone else can go get their shit wrecked as far as he's
Mm,
concerned. um, which I don't know if we even really see any of the other siblings there for like the longest time at all,
no.
maybe.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we only to see the one.
And he's a little bitch, so.
Yeah, he is. So I guess he's like valid in this contempt.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
Shawshank just kind of blows through money. That's all he's good
y-
for.
yeah. Um, yeah, and Xiaoyou runs into Huayang at the hospital where the doctor tells Huayang that he needs to pay a lot of money for his sister's surgery. Hang tight. And so Xiaoyou gives Huayang a hard time for being poor because he also hates poor people. Um, and Huayang basically is like, "Don't look down on me." And I was like, "Okay, Huayang has a sister. Interesting." And she's in the hospital getting surgery. And then we learn that Gao To is also at the hospital to pay medical bills, and his bills are for his sister who's in surgery. Um, and then, but the bills were paid by an S class alpha, which was Wenlong. And I was like, okay, what are the chances that they both have sisters who are in surgery, who need money, who. Okay. And then you see Xiaoyou. Xiaoyou also paid Huayang's sister's medical bills. And I was so confused at this point, but
Yeah, it gets explained in like episode like 14.
yeah, it like you can kind of at this point you can kind of like I kind of figured out like okay, Huayang was lying about this
Mhm.
because we know for a
Yeah.
fact that Gao To has a sister in
Hmm.
surgery, and like Huayang was definitely if one of them's lying, it was him. So that's
Hmm.
like a nice little first hint at him not being who he appears to be. Um, which I like. I mean, I heard a lot of people talk about this show, so I already knew. But maybe if you're like watching it as it was airing, it might not have been as obvious.
It was obvious something was up, but it was
Okay.
like what specifically, I wasn't sure. So,
Yeah. Okay.
but I think it might have been in the trailer that he was
Mm.
not what he said he was. Like it was you. I feel like we went in knowing that something was up there because honestly, two alpha omega pairings would be really boring for a plot.
Yeah, that's fair. Huayang invites Xiaoyou out for like a thank you dinner, but Xiaoyou has plans that he invites Huayang to instead. And so Huayang shows up like very underdressed because he's pretending to be poor, remember? And one of Xiaoyou's friends is like a little too comfortable with him, and so Xiaoyou like gets protective. So
Mm,
more cracks.
yeah,
And
it was kind of a
mhm,
fun moment because it's Hua Young like shows up in honestly nice clothing, right? Like it's not like it's shabby
yeah,
clothing. It's just not a suit where everybody else is in a suit, right?
yeah, yeah.
And and like Xiaoyo's friend is like, "You've never had a problem with me like messing with your other omegas,"
Mm.
and Xiaoyo's just kind of like, "Fuck off,
mm-hmm.
I will end you," but like not in words, just in like the look.
Mm-hmm. We got a special Omega here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And so on the drive back, Huayang shows Xiaoyou like the repayment plan for the medical bills, and he's like, "You don't have to pay it back if you become like my companion."
Such a
And
weird
Huayang
word.
turns him down. Yeah, I don't even really understand this.
I imagine so again, Xiaoyo has commitment issues, right? So he keeps an
Mm-hmm.
omega for a little while, and then I think the longest one was like 6 months or something like that, right? And then he moves on.
Yeah.
So I think that was kind of the thing of we're not gonna be anything long term. So if you just want to be my fuck buddy basically for like a while, and I'll
Yeah.
like take care of you, and then it's fine.
I'll like
Um,
sugar daddy for you, basically.
yeah,
It's interesting Hwa turns this down, but he's playing the long game.
no, for sure.
So that would be why.
It doesn't benefit him to just be a quick fling.
Mm-hmm.
he needs the down badism to be real.
Yeah.
So episode 3 gives us more of Xiaoyao's company struggling with research, which is kind of just gonna be the story of him and his company this entire time. They get nowhere with this
Yeah.
medical research, like
He's
literally
not very
nowhere.
good at his job.
Yeah, I don't know who they've hired as their researchers, but they need a new team.
Yeah.
They're very behind the HS group and where they're at with like their research. And Xiaoyao's secretary, I never write his name down. I don't remember what it is. He's around a lot
Yeah.
though. Um, I think he might be a beta actually,
Probably.
because I don't ever see him really react too strong. Well, maybe he does react to the pheromone issues. He's the only one I'm not sure about what he is. Um, but he's like, why don't we use Huayong as a spy? And
Mm-hmm.
Xiaoyao's like, absolutely not. We're
Oh,
not doing that. We're not crossing that line. Um,
it's a good
but
idea.
it is, but it's also I don't know. Xiaoyao's not like the type to do that. Like he's not really the type to use
No.
shady meat. He's pretty clean, to be
Yeah, like I said,
honest.
he's white bread.
Yeah. So it's as much business stuff is happening. It's actually like for him, nothing under the table shady business. It's all just like I'm just trying to save my dad bullshit.
Yeah.
Um, and the secretary also drops off something like 20,000 yen or whatever, as the first payment for what Huayong owes. And
Mm-hmm.
later in the day, Huayong texts Xiaoyao and asks if he got the payment, and Xiaoyao just straight up lies and is like, no. um, but he uses that as just an excuse to go see Huayong because he's like, we'll talk in person. He's like, yeah, my secretary didn't get a chance to give it to me, but he did tell me about it and he was going to bring it to me tomorrow, which is a total lie. But
Yeah.
literally just to see Huayong. Um, So he like takes Hua Young home and whatever. And Hua Young like keeps his distance like physically from Xiaoyao, but he like makes sure he stays on Xiaoyao's mind after this. He delivers cookies like literally every day to Xiaoyao's office.
Mm-hmm.
And
So he
Xiaoyao
gets like
doesn't
used to it.
yeah, and Xiaoyao doesn't eat sweets. So the fact that he's eating sweets is already like a red flag for his secretary of like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
um And Huayong is also like very heavy on social media and posting on what he's doing every day and all day. And Xiaoyao is just like watching all of this because they did connect on like WeChat or whatever, like the last time they met up. And so Xiaoyao is like stalking him online basically, but like that's why Huayong's posting everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then Huayong skips a day of cookies, right? So after like days and days and weeks of this, literally playing the long game here. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he
Very
skips a
hard
day
to
of
get.
cookies, right? And Xiaoyao's like, wait. So he like calls him and is like, hey, what's the deal? And it turns out that Huayang has to move suddenly, and he's staying with a friend, so he's not gonna have access to a kitchen. And Xiaoyao's like, I have an extra apartment in the city. If you want to rent it, it's like whatever, like 4,000 yen or something a month, or it was gonna end up being like 400 or $4,000, and Huayong's like, I don't think you understand money. That is way out of my budget. Um, and Xiaoyao's like, what's your budget? So instead of 4,000, it was like 280. And Xiaoyao at first was like, what? And he
Mm-hmm.
goes, you know what? Whatever. We can just say it's 280 and that's all you have to pay and that's fine. But also I'll probably stay a couple nights here and there at the apartment because it's closer to work and if I need to work late. And then when I do that, if you just cook dinner for me or whatever, that'll make up the rent. And so Hwa like, sure.
Good deal.
Honestly, super good
This
deal.
is the down bad deal
Yeah.
already.
Mm-hmm. Because it goes from like, I'll stay a night here and there to he moves in like
That's true.
immediately.
Yeah, that is like their shared apartment.
Yeah. But yeah, so like later on, Huayang goes with Wenlong to like this business banquet, and Xiaoyao is there too. And Wenlong and Xiaoyao bicker over Huayang as they do. Um, and X Holdings CEO's secretary is there to meet Xiaoyo as well, so they have that connection now. Um, but X Holdings CEO nowhere to be found somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Huayang leaves like drunk with Wenlong. And Xiaoyo like goes to leave with him, but that's when he gets introduced to the X Holdings secretary. And so he doesn't get to leave with him. So when he finally gets out of that conversation, he has called Huayang 19 times. Um,
Damn,
because
dude.
right, like okay. And then he ends up just going straight to the apartment because Huayang didn't answer the phone. Um,
Yep. And it's
Insanity.
his apartment.
Yeah, this is
He's the
basically he just
landlord.
yeah. So they are talking, and Huayang's like, "Yeah, I'm serious about you, whatever." And Xiaoyo's like, "Prove it." And so Huayang like pecks him on the lips. And then Xiaoyo stays the night, and that's where things start. And he basically just
Yes.
never leaves after that.
Yeah.
Um, the next morning, they're like talking. Huayang has like made this giant breakfast for Xiaoyo. He's like, "I didn't know what you liked, so I just made everything." Um, And Huayang's like, I didn't sleep well. And Xiaoyo's like, why? And he's like, because my heart was racing. So, like, now they're dating, I guess? I
Uh-huh.
think that's what we just jumped to. And like, Xiaoyo kisses Huayang, and it's very much a fish kiss.
There's a
Which I'll
couple of
say,
those.
there are, but there's also some pretty good kisses.
There
So,
are. Mm-hmm.
it's one of those, I'm like, I will tease the fish kiss, but I also will accept that there's not just fish kisses.
Yeah, you're allowed with some fish kisses if you're gonna have
Yeah.
MPREG. That's the trade-off.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and then after work, whatever, Xiaoyo is back at the apartment because literally he's just moved in. So he's working. Um, and Huayang like tries to feed him fruit, and then they share a grape, and there's lots of kisses, and these were not fish kisses.
Uh-huh.
And Xiaoyo's like getting ready to like escalate things, but then Huayang's like phone goes off, and it's Wenlong, interrupting them, of course, because of course he has perfect timing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think it was about like having to go visit him about some paperwork or something. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But after the phone call ends, Huayong won't let Xiaoyo like touch him more than they already are because Huayong apparently has a forma pheromone dysregulation that he's undergoing treatment for, and so physical intimacy isn't allowed. Um,
Okay.
and and he says that he has to be marked by an alpha to be intimate, right? And the markings are permanent, so like that's a big deal. So like clearly they're not gonna do that day two. Um,
Mm-hmm. It's like
although
getting married,
Xiaoyo is
basically.
definitely thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean he's gone like super domestic already.
Yeah, like immediately, all it took was some cookies.
Yeah.
Um,
And now they're super coupley.
yeah. Knowing the reality of what actually is happening with Hwayoung, spoiler being Enigma, I think we already spoiled that. Um, I wonder because it's basically like position preference at that point, right? Like is part of the issue there. But I wonder if they switched positions, if that would cause an issue with the Enigma Alpha thing, you know?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work, or if it's literally just that's not my preferred position, so I'm not gonna do it.
I feel like it's preference more than anything,
Yeah, because they
but
never explicitly say anything else. Because he just says that he can't be physically intimate, and they leave it at that. Um,
yeah. I guess yeah, I don't know.
so that was one of the things that always had me curious. I was like, is it just a preference that is like adamant of I will not be the bottom, or
I wonder, I mean, I think the like pheromone dysregulation thing is more of just like any sort of sexual contact. Like I feel like that
yeah,
has to do more with like hormones and stuff than like position.
yeah.
But
I just
yeah, I don't know. I the when it comes to like anatomy and Omegaverse, I choose to just ignore everything.
yeah, because he doesn't really have a dysregulation though. He's just saying he does.
Yeah.
So, um, because he's on all kinds of like medications to like hide what he actually is.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are one of the things I thought about. Like I what position they are doesn't really matter to me. Just the fact that he's like, we can't do this, um, for whatever
Yeah.
reason. So
I think it's like definitely more of like the pheromone thing than anything.
yeah,
But
yeah. So then Huayang has to stay late for a company dinner. And Xiaoyu kind of gets annoyed by it, but like, what are you gonna do, right?
yeah. Mhm.
And so while he's home alone, he gets a call from his friends to go hang out in the lounge. So he does, and he gets shit faced. Um, and his secretary has to then drop him back off at the apartment and is like, "Here, this is your problem. Thanks for dealing with it. Bye."
Yep. Fair.
Yeah. I also wouldn't deal with my boss if he had a Omega to handle it. Um,
Yeah. This is your apartment. The person who lives here
yep.
can take care of you.
Yep.
So Hwa-young says that he can smell an omega on Xiaoyu, and he's like, that doesn't concern you. And so Hwa-young gets salty about it and like gives the silent treatment. And then, because he's very possessive, he texts that he found a new place to live and he'll repay the money. And I hope we never see each other again.
So dramatic.
It's so dramatic. For like all this for like nothing. Um, so Xiaoyu confronts Hwa-young as he's trying to leave, and Hwa-young says like he's like, I can't do like whatever this is anymore because like I like you, and like I get too jealous like when I know you've been around other omegas, like you can't do that. um and Xiaoyu is basically like begs for forgiveness, is like, we can't break up, like we're not gonna fight again, I'm not going to do anything with any other omegas, like it's all you, boo.
So dramatic, both of them.
Yes. Yeah. Hwa-young is possessive,
Yep.
to say it at the least.
And also manipulative. Like this is all a
Yes.
ploy from him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then we have Gaoto, who he's off of work again for the same reasons. And we do get like a flashback of them. So Gaoto and Wenlong used to be classmates. And like Gaoto was basically like his secretary already, even back in school. And so I was like, okay, I like this like little bit of background and context to the relationship. So it's not just boss and secretary, but it's like they originally started as like friends in
Hmm.
school. And I'm like, okay, I like this little layer to their relationship. Like they're closer than you might think.
Yeah, they've known each other for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. And Gaucho's dad calls and he asks for money, which is like a common occurrence for him because he has a gambling problem. And so that's weighing on the family because remember, Gaucho, like, he might have like a decent job, but he's like paying for his sister's surgery, or he's trying to. And
Hmm.
he's trying to pay for his rent, which is really expensive. And his dad keeps asking for money for the gambling problem. And he keeps having to go to the hospital because he's abusing pheromone or hormone suppressants or whatever. So,
Hmm.
um, and Wenlong is mad that Gaucho's absent again. Like he doesn't understand the medical problems, so he just is jealous and doesn't realize it.
Because he thinks Gato is home because of his Omega that's always in
Omega.
heat.
Yes, exactly. His needy Omega. And then we have like another flashback from when they were younger, and like Gauto was working 3 jobs to afford tuition at school, and like he also used to buy Wenlong breakfast every day in secret. Which, like, okay, if your crush is super rich and you're not, just don't be doing that for them. Like,
Yeah.
it's not worth it.
No. And then this is like the first time like Wenlong and Gaoto like kind of officially talk, and Wenlong's like, "You're the one who bought me breakfast," and it's like,
Hmm.
"Yeah,
Yeah.
okay."
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
Gaucho's secretly been in love with Wenlang for like 10 years,
I
which
I love Wenlong being so fucking oblivious because how did he not realize it here?
so oblivious. Well, so Gaucho at least realizes he's in love with Wenlang, but Wenlang does not realize he's also been in love with
Mm-hmm.
Gaucho, and he doesn't realize that Gaucho's in love with him. He's like a brick
Right?
wall. He's
But
so
that's what I'm
dense.
saying. Gaucho buys his kid breakfast every day, and Wenlong's not like, "Hey, that person has a crush on me," because like that's obvious. That's what you
Uh-huh.
do when you have feelings, not just some random person.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, thanks. That's my bro, I guess. That's my
Right? My bro, I've
secretary.
never spoken to. Um,
Yeah, like yeah, right.
let me give him a
But
job.
but poor Gaucho can't like speak up for himself and be like, hey,
Yeah.
it's because I like you.
Especially Wenlong, the Omega hater.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, once again, Xiaoyo's company not getting anywhere. Stockholders are upset.
Xiaoyu spent like all, yeah, spending all the company money on this one project, and it's not getting anywhere. And everyone's like, "Hey, maybe we should do something that'll actually make us money."
And there's like a technical networking event with X Holdings, but Xiaoyo isn't on the invite list. Um, and Xiaoyo goes to a different meeting, and he's wearing like a suppressant patch because he's close to his rut. And Xiaoyu has to leave early. He gets dropped off at the apartment because of this. And so like Huayan gets him into bed. He uses his pheromones, his calming pheromones, to like calm him down. Does he like freak out during the meeting? Is that what happens?
Yeah, I
I
I
f-
think the patch doesn't work, and so he has to run into. This is the one where he has to run into the bathroom and like switch the patches,
oh
and like
yes.
the ex Holdings secretary is there and like giving him a hard time for like releasing his hormones and or
Yes,
pheromones
yes.
in public, and is like, yeah, some like alpha you are because it's like super like bad manners to release your pheromones in public.
Yeah.
Um, because like especially like it impacts everybody around you, especially as like an S tier, like
Mhm.
even other alphas are affected by it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, this will happen a lot to him in the next couple
yeah.
episodes, so I forgot if it starts here, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
this is like the first instance of this happening.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then we get a flashback to Xiaoyo saving Huayang from a bully as very tiny children. Because it's not an Asian drama if they didn't meet during childhood.
Mhm.
And Xiaoyo left behind a pocket watch, which Huayang keeps. And so this is the beginning of his obsession and
Yeah.
psychosis.
Imagine a brief like 5 minute long meeting and making that your entire personality for the rest of your life.
Oh my god. I don't remember what happened as a kid. Like, that's crazy.
My crush's name was Danny. I would love to see what he's up to now. We're probably two entirely different people though. We don't need to be together. I did not make that my entire personality from when
You
I was
didn't stalk
5.
him for the rest of your life until he agreed to go out with you and then you impregnated him.
That would be so confusing in so many different ways. Um, I tried to stalk him, just a social media stalking,
Oh, yeah.
but I don't know his last name, so that went
Oh.
nowhere, right? My mom can't remember the family's last name either, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was my first love. That was my first kiss
Oh.
when I was 5.
Oh
Um,
my god. So young.
right? I was
Yeah.
obsessed. We shared a bowl of cookie dough together.
Oh, how cute.
I I
Maybe it
still
was.
have the
Maybe you'll find each other again.
right. He's from Texas, so if there's a Danny out there from Texas that picked me up bridal style in the pool,
Wow.
it was a whole thing.
It sounds like it. Yeah.
He was a couple years older than me, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah. The last time I saw him, I was like 7 though. So,
Well, Danny's from Texas. Comment down below.
oh
We're looking
God,
for
please
you.
don't. It'd be a hell of a way
um,
to find Danny.
I know.
BL podcast.
Yeah. You and Danny might have more in common than you think.
Hard taste in men.
Yes. um so yeah, that's the origin story.
Mm-hmm.
Then Xiaoyo's secretary stops by the apartment to drop off a book for Huayang, but he like bugs Huayang's bag. Which
Mm-hmm.
like okay.
Going against Xiaoyo's wishes there, but sure.
Yeah, Xiaoyo did not want him to do that, but he's doing it anyway.
Yep.
So and then Wenlan Wenlang has Huayang in his phone as lunatic, which
I
is
just love it.
so accurate. But Huayang is aware of the bug. Like he knows everything that's happening. He's pulling the strings. No one's pulling a fast one on him.
I love that anytime anyone around Xiaoyo tries to do anything shady, Huayang, Wenlong immediately aware of it.
Yeah.
Just
They're
immediately, and they're
like you can't outdo the doer.
no, not a shot.
No.
This is where Xiaoyo is too much white bread again, and everyone around him is also apparently white bread.
Yeah. He's just like kind of square.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Huayang's like, nah, whatever. He did a terrible job of putting that bug in. It wasn't super obvious or anything.
Yeah.
But episode 5, we have Gaoto being sick again, and he's not doing great at all. Xiaoyo was gone on a trip to deal with his rat, but he's back now. Words I never thought I'd say.
Yes.
And then HS Group, which is Wenlong's company, right? They're creating a risk management team to keep leaks of their new drug from happening. So they're like super strict on like who has what information and all this. And all that. So like things are a little more tense over there right now. And Huayang is sick because of his pheromone dysregulation, whatever, and he's nearing his heat apparently, or you know,
His
at least
rut,
that's yeah.
or maybe he's just lying. I don't know.
He's lying. He's lying to Xiaoyo. It's
Okay.
just his rut's coming, and he is on like the medication, whatever. So I think that does like mess with it, but also him being an enigma, I think just escalates everything. And so, but yeah, he's not feeling well. I think he's running like a fever or whatever. And Xiaoyo like brings up the permanent mark again, and Huayang just kind of like ignores it more or less and doesn't say anything. But he goes to work, and Huayang doesn't come back from work that evening, and Xiaoyo starts to crash out about it. He's freaking out.
Yes. Yes.
He's like calling around, and no one's seen Huayang, and they get like security cameras, and they see that Huayang was seen going in like a taxi, and it goes somewhere random where there's like no cameras, and then he just kind of vanishes. So Xiaoyo tries to call like Wenlong, but Wenlong obviously doesn't answer his phone because he doesn't give a shit about Xiaoyo. And then he
I
gets
love
his
how
secretary.
serious this is for Xiaoya, and no one else gives a fuck.
Yeah, nobody cares. But yeah, Xiaoyo gets his secretary to call Gaoto, and he's like, "Where the fuck is Huayang? Whatever. Where's Wenlong?" And he's like, "When Wenlong's in a meeting, I'll have him call you back." And then Gaoto like mentions it to Wenlong later. And he's also like, "Isn't Huayang just on leave, like normal?" And Wenlong's like, "Yeah, just let Xiaoyo freak out for a while." He's like, "It serves him right." It's like, "Oh, okay." Xiaoyo's secretary is also kind of freaking out right now because he's like, I did actually plant a bug in Huayong's bag. So, and Xiaoyo's like, are you fucking kidding me?
What an idiot. Like, I told you not to. Now he's gonna break up with
Yeah.
me. This is why he
Right?
left
Like,
me.
well, it's maybe he's in trouble now, right? Because they have that like risk management team. And then we see Huayong is chained up in a bed in his heat/rut.
Uh-huh.
I love that his is so strong that he literally has to chain himself up.
Yes, it's very hot.
Right? Him in the collar. Okay, thank you.
You'll always get me with chains and collars.
Yes.
I'm always here for that.
Yes. Um, and so then, like, the next day, Xiaoyu goes to HS Group to confront Wenlong about it. And Wenlong's like, yeah, I know about the bug, by the way, and Huayang broke company trust and all that. And Wenlong's
Mm.
literally just there to antagonize Xiaoyu by saying that, like, although he hates Omegas, Huayang has piqued his interest, whatever, which is such a fucking lie, but, you know, whatever to
Yes.
rile Xiaoyu up.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so
This
Xiaoyu and Wenlong have like this alpha fight because of that, where they're like pheromones are everywhere and they're
Yes.
like literally fighting. Um, it's so funny. And poor Gato is like standing in the doorway and he is struggling to cope with this.
Uh-huh. Because
Um,
he has to pretend to be a beta, so he has to pretend to not be affected. And
yeah,
it's
and
literally
he
killing him.
can't, right? Like it's two S tier alphas, like it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
Gato actually does end up in the hospital. Um, and this doctor basically tells Wenlong that Gaoto is an Omega, but Wenlong is yet again too fucking stupid to
Yeah.
notice.
Yes.
Like, because the doctor's like, "Oh, you're the one who's the problem here because you hate Omegas. You should take better care of him."
Mm-hmm.
and, and Wenlong's like, "What?" and just moves on.
Yeah, it doesn't get it.
And Hwoyoung is basically over his rut slash heat now. And he like tells Wenlong to like leak where he is. Um but also like the guards that were around him were being too noisy, so he literally just like whips them because he's insane. He just beats the
Yeah.
shit out of them like with a whip. Like that's fine. Um
Okay. I
yeah, why
guess.
not? And meanwhile, Xiaoyu has hired a private investigator to find Hwoyoung. And he's like tailed Wenlong to the hotel and where Hwoyoung is at. And he's like eavesdropping on these house guests or housekeeping staff that like they're talking about how Hwoyoung was like beating the shit out of these dudes. But it's the way it sounds to them is that Hwoyoung was the one getting like shared by like multiple alphas.
Yeah.
And so poor
It sounds
Xiaoyu,
bad.
right? Xiaoyu crashes out like big time now. He's like, find him now, bring him to me.
He's freaking out. First of all, it's cracking me up that Xiaoyo's not doing anything himself. He's just like screaming at the investigator to help him, and the investigator's like, "I'm a private investigator. I'm not a hitman." Like
Right? He's like,
he's like,
kill them
"Kill
all.
everyone," and it's like, "Well, you get in there and do something.
Right?
Stop
You're the
screaming at
S
your
tier
poor
alpha.
PI over the phone."
It's so funny. S tier alpha
Yeah.
doesn't do shit.
Mm.
The only time he does shit is when he gets to beat up on Wenla.
Yeah.
So Wenlong and Hwoyoung and the other secretary are like not Gaoto, but like Hwoyoung's secretary are like all
Mm-hmm.
sitting in like the living room of this hotel suite. And Wenlong tells him about like the fight that he had because he's got like a bruise on his face where
Mm-hmm.
Xiaoyu like punched him. And so he's telling him about the fight and whatever. And Hwoyoung's like, did you touch him? And Wenlong's like, I had to defend myself. Like, that's
Mm-hmm.
all I did. He
He
punched
came
me,
at
so I
me.
kicked him. And Hwoyoung gets so mad that Xiaoyu got kicked, and he's like, I will end you if you ever do that again. Um, and again, Wenlong also knows that he has a PI tailing him because
Mm-hmm.
Xiaoyu could do nothing without getting caught. Like, everybody's just
No.
aware.
I guess that's the problem when you like play by all the rules and no one else is playing by the rules. It's just like you don't know any of the rules and they do
Yeah.
now.
Mm-hmm.
So Wenlong and Hwayoung's secretary leave Hwayoung alone and like stand in the hallway where the PI can hear him talk about Hwayoung. They're like playing into this.
Mm-hmm.
And like they leave and so the PI goes in to like rescue Hwayoung, who pretends to be like a very scared Omega who's like bruised and battered and like yeah.
Yeah. I the actor that plays him does such a good job of switching between like
Oh,
Omega and Enigma mode, because he's like this shy, timid little Omega who's just kind of frail and fragile and weak and whatever. And then when he's like Enigma, he's just like so such a dominant presence everywhere that like you can
yes.
tell like everybody is at least a little intimidated by him.
Yeah, he does a really good job like code switching.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so now he gets to act very traumatized for Xiaoyo because he knows Xiaoyo likes to be the hero in the situation. So he's
Mm-hmm.
like pretending to let him do that. And Hwayoung gives Xiaoyo a list of like the drug team's core researchers. But this is where it's just the names of the cast on the show. That's a funny
I like the
detail.
Yeah, I like the little Easter egg.
Yeah. Wenlong visits Gaoto's apartment for the first time, and it's a pretty tiny little place, and he's like insulting it. And this is when he's like, "Do we not pay you enough?" And he like gets mad because Gaoto is like concerned about Hwayoung because Gaoto's like a normal person. Um, and so he's concerned about this guy who went missing and is kidnapped or whatever. And Wenlong's like, "Why do you care about him?" Like, again,
The
dense as
jealousy's
fuck.
so real. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And Wenlong notices that like the lights outside the apartment are really dim. Um, and so he like has them replaced for Gaoto, which is like this is super cute.
Mm-hmm.
Like and like secretly like showing that he cares, but he doesn't like, he doesn't tell Gaoto anything. He's just like doing it out of love and concern.
Mm-hmm.
And Xiaoyo isn't feeling well because his rut's coming up, and the doctor doesn't have like a reason for it, but says that if Xiaoyo was an omega, he'd suspect targeted seducing pheromones from an alpha, because I guess he's getting his rut like too often now, and it
Yeah.
like doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
It's like it's irregular. So yeah, so something's going on here.
Yeah, I wonder who could be doing that.
And I wonder, yeah, who could be targeting him with alpha pheromones. Um, Xiaoyo also starts going after the HS group. I
Yeah,
don't remember
that's
what he does
where
here.
he uh he like underbids them on like funding and projects or whatever, and he like reports them to like the government for like money laundering or something like that. Stuff that's not really happening. And like
Yeah.
whatever he can to like tank their stocks. It's like a short-term problem. Like it's just to give them a headache. Like
Uh
long term
huh.
they'd be able to prove everything and like move on with whatever, but
Yeah.
just to give Wenlong
Th-
some problems.
this is his version of playing dirty.
Yeah.
Um, so Gaoto writes his resignation letter, and like what?
Gauto's trying to quit.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
Yep.
Um, yeah, he writes his resignation letter, and with the crisis of like Xiaoyo messing with the company and like Wenlong needing him, Gaoto ends up like shredding the letter. He's like, okay, I'm not gonna quit yet.
I
But
love.
he does get asked a lot of by
Yeah.
Wenlong.
I love that the other employees are like, "Thank God you're here for Wenlong." Like I know he has like 17 secretaries or something like that. Like it's a
Uh-huh.
massive secretary staff, right? Like and they all do all different things. And
Mm-hmm.
I think secretary in like Asian companies is maybe a little different from like what I think of as like a secretary or like an admin assistant here, because I cannot imagine having 17 secretaries. Um but
Yeah, I don't know.
it seems like they do a lot more than like what I would think like a typical secretary like here in the US would
Mm-hmm.
do. But
Mm-hmm.
like one of the other ones is like, yeah, we have like all this and like whatever Wenlong and Hua Yong are close, but like Wenlong clearly like emotionally needs you. It's like,
Yes.
yeah, he
Like you
does.
keep him from like freaking out for the rest of us.
Yeah, and that's why every time you're gone, we all have to be on like eggshells around him because he kind of loses his shit every time you're not here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Gauto's like, fine, I'll shred the fucking resignation letter for now.
Yeah. I guess I won't quit yet. So Xiaoyu goes on a trip again to stay away from his rut because, like, to his knowledge, he can't be around Hwayoung because otherwise they would have to like mate for life.
Yeah.
And Hwayoung's sulky because he thinks Xiaoyu's like with another Omega on the trip.
Yeah. Which I don't think he is.
Yeah,
I think he's literally just locking himself away until it passes.
I think so. Yeah, I don't. He's not doing that, and I don't think. But
Yeah.
again, Hwayoung's very jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the next morning, Hwayoung doesn't wake up.
Yep. Which is scary all of a sudden.
Yeah, this is
So
wild.
yeah, so episode 7, Xiaoyu has to like give Hwayoung like an injection, and then takes him to the hospital. And Hwayoung is sick because he's had to increase the dosage of his like pheromone modifier, and that's like caused problems now. And Wenlong goes to like check on him at the hospital, and he's whining to Hwayoung about how Xiaoyo's like sabotaging the company and whatever, and Hwayoung is just like, "Oh, Xiaoyo did something good. That's cool." He's like totally unfazed that like the company that he's invested like millions and millions into is like having a lot of problems. He's like, "Yeah, you guys will figure it out." He's also like, "I'll just pay whatever the losses are. Just whatever. I don't care." Just
Wouldn't that
impressed
be
by Xiaoyo,
nice?
right? Just throw money at everything. The amount of like fucking money they all have is insane.
Yeah, it is.
And Hua Young is just like, Wenlong, I need you to just avoid Xiaoyo. And Wenlong's like, how the fuck am I supposed to do that? He's everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then someone's like texting Wenlong looking for Hua Young, and it's Hua Young's cousin randomly, who doesn't come
Yeah,
again until like episode 14.
yeah.
Um,
He's just like randomly here like twice.
yeah. So he's here and then he's not. So that's a thing. And Wenlong's like, I don't know where he's at. And the cousin's like, aren't you both in the same like country, whatever? And he's like, yeah, your point? Which, same.
Yeah.
um, and then Hwayoung and Chayo go to eat at this restaurant after Hwayoung is like discharged. And when you know it, Wenlong and Gao To also end up at the same restaurant. Um, and Xiaoyu and Wenlong literally cannot be in the same room with each other without fighting, so they have another standoff with their pheromones. And poor Gao To is struggling hard once again
Again,
because he
yes.
cannot deal with these pheromones from these two men.
Yeah, and they keep being like, oh my god, there are enough pheromones to like kill a person. It's literally
Right?
killing Gato.
Right?
Like as we speak,
And
he's dying.
Wenlong's constantly like, why are you so affected by uh,
Mm-hmm.
Xiaoyu's pheromones? And she's like, he's affected by both of them. You guys need to
Yeah,
stop.
he can't pick up context clues.
Yeah. So Wenlong does get a little hurt by Xiaoyu there because he can't do anything back, right? Because Huayong will like destroy him.
Yeah.
So Gao To does take Wenlong back to Gao To's apartment afterwards for some first aid, whatever, and they argue a bit, and then Gao To collapses because it's pheromones, right? Like this poor guy,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
constantly in trouble. But
I'd quit my
Wenlong,
job too.
right, right, it's not worth it, dude.
Mm-mm.
Um, and then Wenlong does nurse him though. He puts him to bed and like takes care of him and gives him like a cloth bath and whatever, a sponge bath. And Gao To finally like comes to, and Wenlong's like, "I'm gonna go buy some medicine real quick." And Gao To's like, "No, no, just stay here a little longer for me." And you see Wenlong go soft for like 2 seconds. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then later that night, Xiaoyu takes Huayong to the lounge that he's always at. And he steps away from like the lounge to take a phone call for something or another. And Xiaoyu's shitty friend is like, "Hey, Huayang, he doesn't keep Omegas very long. You should switch to me instead. I can also take care of you."
He's trying
And
to poach.
Huayang, right? And Huayang is very much in like enigma mode at this moment, and he could not give a fuck less. Um,
Uh,
Like, absolutely not.
Not doing that.
No.
Who do you think you are?
Right. Hwayoung could end everyone in this room without even moving. So,
Yeah. He's not afraid.
no. And then X Holdings is apparently having another dinner that Xiaoyo isn't invited to. He's really feeling the like FOMO at this point
Yeah.
because he really wants to meet the stupid X Holdings CEO because he wants to like collab with them because he needs those drugs, right? Because he has to save his dad.
Yeah.
Um. So, but
Even
he
though he
does go to
hates
like a
his dad.
right the familial like need to like save people. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, but Xiaoyo does go to like another business banquet. There's apparently just every night like a different dinner, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, and like his goal there is to like connect enough with like X Holdings people to like finally get an invite to this thing so he can like meet the CEO and like have a conversation because it's like impossible for him to talk to this mysterious man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so he does go to the other business banquet, and he brings like some random woman as an Omega as his date, right? He doesn't want to bring Hwayoung. So it's just some random girl, and like
Mm-hmm.
she
And it's like an
introduces
ex of
herself.
his or something.
Yeah, it's somebody he's brought before that he's definitely not serious about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she introduces herself as Xiaoyu's girlfriend, right? And I think they're talking to the ex holding secretary again, so it's like, But also, Hwayoung is watching from the security cameras like a creep.
Yes.
And then Xiaoyo gets dropped off at the apartment, very drunk again, right? And Hwayoung is mad now because he can smell the Omega on Xiaoyo. And he
Mm-hmm.
kisses him and gets kind of handsy here, which is a little like, that man is drunk, can't consent. Can we not do that?
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of
There's a lot of
non-consent
that
stuff
happens,
coming
yeah.
up. But yeah,
Yeah.
this is definitely
This
a
is where
part
it
of it.
starts, and I'm like, mm.
Yeah.
But Xiaoyo finally gets the X Holdings invite he's been fiending for. Um,
Finally.
so Xiaoyo is then in a meeting, I think a work meeting, I don't remember, with when his pheromones go kind of crazy and he like collapses. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah.
So poor Xiaoyao in the
Mm-hmm.
hospital. He's like officially diagnosed with pheromone dysregularity syndrome. Um, and the doctor's like, yeah, it's like so weird. It's your pheromone levels. It's like an omega in heat.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. Wonder what's causing it. And Hua Young basically like he used the seduction hormones to make Xiaoyo go into heat, and Wenlong kind of warns him like not to make Xiaoyu a case study. Like, I don't know if you want to experiment on your boo, but
Yeah, he's like, don't
I,
bring attention to him because
yeah,
it's weird for an alpha to go into heat.
yeah, it's like people are gonna question this.
Mm-hmm.
And Xiaoyu goes to an event where the ex holding CEO will be there. Finally, surprise! It's Hua Young. Like, like we find out it's Hua Young, but
Yeah.
we kind of guessed already, but he doesn't know
Yeah.
that still.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Hwayoung is just like he's so insane. He's like willing to play Omega for Xiaoyu forever, and he tells Wenlong he's like I will rip out like my gland, or I'll rip the
Yeah.
gland out of Xiaoyu like if he
No, no,
like
no, no. He
wants
would
to.
rip his own gland out.
Yes, I would rip out
Yeah.
my gland, which you will die without.
Yes.
Um, and then just say it was like damage and like I'll become a beta, and it has like no survival rate, but Hwayoung is like I can survive it because I'm stronger. I'm built different.
I'm curious if he
And
could actually survive that.
I'm like, well, it kind of happens towards the end, but
Yeah.
not enough. But he
Mm-hmm.
does survive it,
Yeah.
but it's close call. So I'm gonna guess no, but this is how desperate he is. So Xiaoyu arrives at the event, and Huayang and Wenlong are like hiding behind a room divider. And there's like a bunch of ex-holding businessmen there, and Xiaoyu's like super annoyed by the setup. Honestly, a lot of this business stuff I like couldn't follow. I don't even remember this.
It's literally where they're like in the big like white sterile room and there's like 6 chairs or whatever, and it's like a bunch of businessmen and then Xiaoyo, and then there's like a room divider, and Huayang and Wenlong are like behind it, and so they can talk. But because Xiaoyo thinks he's there to talk to the CEO, but like the CEO is gonna stay hidden, right? Because he has to. Um, that's about as far as they get with business. They start talking business, but it doesn't matter. But then like when Long does his bullshit. So
Yeah, Wenlong like antagonizes Huayang about Xiaoyu having another Omega at the last event. He was like he had an Omega girlfriend, and Huayang uses targeted seduction pheromones on Xiaoyu again. And like at first, Xiaoyu recognizes the smell, but then realizes it's too dominant. And so, yeah, he like passed out from the pheromones and like releases his own. And Huayang's secretary randomly just pulls out a gun and then like blindfolds Xiaoyu's secretary. And then Huayang takes Xiaoyu to a hotel room and like keeps using pheromones on him. I don't know. There's a lot of pheromones, and then randomly there's a gun. And I was
yeah,
like, okay.
I think part of it was supposed to be that no one was supposed to realize that the original pheromones are coming from the CEO targeted at, or maybe they don't notice it. That just in his panic from the like attack, basically, Xiaoyu just releases his pheromones that like causes everyone to scatter, besides the secretary. And then he's got to kind of get a control in the situation, which is where he pulls a gun, and it's on because Xiaoyu's unconscious, so he kind of doesn't matter at this moment. But he has to pull it on the Xiaoyu secretary to kind of gain control of the situation, because they also have to blindfold him so that Huayang can come out and like take Xiaoyu, right, without being seen.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this whole scene I did not know what the fuck was happening. But
Yeah.
I was like, okay, pheromones, got it.
Yeah. Wenlong antagonized Huayang, and he got pissed off and took it out on Xiaoyu, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Got you.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, then he goes home and he just like whines about this like lunatic he met to Huayang, who is that lunatic.
I thought it was really funny. He's like, this lunatic, whatever, all this, and Huayang's like, yeah, he does
Yeah.
sound kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. Who
Tell me
would do
more.
such a thing? And Wenlong is suddenly interested in a company merger with Xiaoyu's company, and to collaborate on drug research, but Xiaoyu now refuses. Like, sir, I don't think you're in a place to refuse. Like, put your pride aside. Your dad's dying.
Right.
Um,
I think what the plan is there is partially to basically go around Wenlong and go just straight through X Holdings
X
instead.
holding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if beggars can be choosers at this point, but he's trying.
Apparently he can.
Yeah. Because yeah, Xiaoyu's dad's in like critical condition. They're like, even if there is a medicine for him, like it might not be enough to save him at this point. And Xiao Qing is there again, crashing out, wearing the same shirt. He only has one shirt. And he tries to attack Xiaoyu, but he just uses like his S alpha pheromones again. And so it like works because Xiaoqing, he's an alpha, but he's not an S tier alpha, so it's no match.
Yeah, he just drops straight to the ground.
Yeah. They're both very like they're fighting over the dad situation again, of course, and because it's very tense because the dad needs medicines soon. And at least X Holdings drug is ready for human trials. Hua Young oversaw the project himself, and the project was like expedited for Xiao's dad. And he calls Hua Young's secretary to like ask for the drug for his dad. So
it's
at least
honestly
someone
such
made
a
the drug.
solid moment where, because he's like, I'm not calling as the CEO of whatever Sheng Feng, whatever the name of his company is. I'm calling as a son begging for help for my dad. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. Like it's at least one of their company was able to make something, you know. But yeah, it's a tough situation.
Yeah.
Well,
So I think that's where we're going to leave it for today. So, because this is a longer one, it's 16 episodes, so we're halfway.
yeah. Yeah, 16 whole episodes.
Yeah.
Thanks, China.
I can't say I hate 16 over the trend in Thailand right now of 10 episodes.
Yeah, it definitely, honestly, the show could have used more.
Yeah.
Like, it probably could have used at least like 20. But yeah, I
Yeah.
always like more episodes.
Yeah, as long as it's not just like straight filler of just nothing happening, but I feel like this one, something's constantly happening.
I feel like there's almost too much happening, but it all has like a
Yeah.
purpose, so like it's okay.
Yeah.
It some of
I
it loses me a little bit with the business talk, but I'm also just not a business person, so
yeah, it's the business side is kind of interesting to me because it's not that far off from what my life is.
uh
Right? Like we're not like fighting like that closely with like our competitors, but it's always like dealing with customers and what their demands are and what the shareholders want and you know what are our competitors doing and all that and you know research isn't going right or you know whatever and it's this is my life.
career in STEM.
Yeah. And then the more like the higher up you go, the more you get involved in the side and like I'm still pretty low on like the importance list, but I'm involved enough to hear this on a technical level more than the business level. So on the business level, I just hear how we're never making enough money, but we could be making all the money in the world and they'd still say it's not enough.
Yeah, feel like
Capitalism,
it's all
yay!
companies.
Right? That's why I'm like,
Rah.
meh. Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll pick up the second half next week. Um,
A lot goes down.
yeah. Tell us what you think of the show too in the comments. Um, maybe I'll remember the actors' other names, who's Elliot and who's Ocean
Yeah,
and what the other two are.
I'll spend this
Maybe I'll
next week looking up the actors and stuff and
yeah, I'll see if
listening
I can
to their music or whatever they released.
yeah. I need to see I haven't seen them up to anything in quite a while. Um so see what they've been up to.
Yeah.
So but in the meantime, you can find our merch at BL in the Air what was it? blintheair-shop.fourthwall.com. Link is in the link tree. Find us on our socials of Instagram and TikTok at bl.in.the.air. Twitter is BL in the air. Discord link is in the link tree as well. You can watch us on Spotify and YouTube or listen wherever you're currently listening. And we'll see you with part 2 next week. Bye.
Yes. Bye.